Hello everyone, it's me again, Linux Robot Geek, and we are continuing our LED Flask application series. This time we're going to monitor our application using something called Prometheus. So in this video, we will also learn how to use Dockerhub, how to push an image to Dockerhub, and we will also have to update our code in order for it to use Prometheus. So let's begin. Alright, let's get started. So in order for us to use Prometheus, first we need to update our main code, which I already did here. So it's pretty much the same code as last time, but we added this line here, which is from Prometheus Flask Exporter, import Prometheus metrics. Now, here on GitHub, we have Prometheus Flask Exporter. It explains what it is, and it also shows how to use it in your own Flask application. Now, in order to run it, you will have to use pip install Prometheus Flask Exporter. Now, I already did that on my own machine, but we won't be doing that on our own machine, and instead we'll be using Docker for this. So, aside from importing Prometheus metrics, we also have to include the metrics in our app, which says metrics equals Prometheus metrics app. Then we need to register default metrics. So here we have metrics.register default, metrics counter, or in this case metrics.counter, and then we have the by path counter, which says request count by request paths, and then we have labels, which is equal to the path, which is a lambda of request.path. Then we're going to optionally apply the same metric to all of the endpoints. So we have an endpoint counter which equals metrics.counter, which is an endpoint counter which we request count by endpoints, and we have labels as the same way here, but we have request.endpoint. And all we really do here is add the endpoint counter annotation here. That's really it. There's nothing else to do here. The Docker file stays the same from before, and again I will link the previous video at the end so you can watch that. But in requirements I did have to add this line here, which is necessary. So we're adding version 0.20.3 of Prometheus Flask Exporter. With that in mind, we also need to use Dockerhub. So I already have Dockerhub here, and I have signed into my account. It's a free account if you want to sign in. You can also upgrade if you wish. So in this case, let's create a repository. So if you're following along on Dockerhub, you go to here, click. Then we're going to create a repository called LED monitoring. You can make it private if you want, but after that you will have to upgrade your account. So we'll create. And there we go. We just created our LED monitoring. So now I've already have the Pi running, so we'll go to cd documents and then YouTube. That's the file I created. So what we will do is rerun it. So we'll do docker build tag LED monitoring, and then dot as before. It'll run through this usual commands, and again it will install all our requirements using pip, and as you can see it has already installed Prometheus Flask Exporter. Again, it's the same warning as last time, just ignore it. And there we go. Then we can check again with Docker images. We just move this aside. Then, of course, let us run the image with Docker run detach, which is D, and then P for port 5000, and it will be LED monitoring. So we will press enter, And we'll do Docker PS, and it shows there. So we'll go to here, 0.0.0, 5000, and there it is. So it's working. So let's get to the demo, and I'll show you how to read the metrics. Welcome back. So I have the application running, and yes, the LED is blinking, thankfully. But you want to see the metrics. So to see the metrics, you would do /metrics, and you get a lot of information. So let's put this in reader view, sorry. So I put this in reader view so you guys can see more clearly. So here we have the metrics being collected. For example, we have virtual memory, which is our RAM. We also have process resident memory, which also deals with the RAM. We have start time seconds, CPU seconds. We also have our requests. Here it mentioned duration seconds. And this is based on all the metrics that were collected while we were using the application. So when I was clicking the button, as you can see, it was telling us that it was getting it. So it will register here. And of course, it also tells us the other requests and also the total path counter. And of course, we have our endpoint counter as well. So it did manage to count the endpoints. Now, while that has been a success, now let's exit out of this application because we're going to tag this to our Dockerhub. So we're going to do Docker stop and we're going to paste. Let us wait for a moment as the application stops. It takes some time, so we'll just be patient. Okay, there it is. So next thing we want to do is this command. We're going to have to log in to our Dockerhub account. So in this case, I will do that here. This is required in order for us to push our Docker image. So we'll wait for it to do that. And there you go, login succeeded. So first we will tag with Docker tag, then LED monitoring to mine. So will be this one. And we'll call it monitoring latest. We'll tag it with that. Then we'll do Docker push LED and we'll press enter. And as you can see, it is now waiting to push our image. It's going to take some time because it is a new repository that is being pushed. So it's being mounted, and there you go. It is done. And we can verify that by going to LED monitoring here. And there you go. It was pushed a few seconds ago. And that's it. We have now successfully pushed our very first image to Dockerhub. Now we also need to log out, so we'll do Docker log out. And the credentials have been removed. So that's it for this successful demo. So that concludes another successful demo. However, we are still not done yet. As in the finale of the series, we're going to integrate this into our CI/CD pipeline. Unfortunately, that does require that this finale be divided into multiple parts. So, in the finale, you will learn about GitHub Actions, you will learn about Kubernetes and creating your own Kubernetes manifest. You will also learn about deploying the application using Argo CD. And finally, we will create a really cool dashboard using Grafana. So, hopefully you enjoy the finale of the series, and I will make those videos available in the playlist. So, stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.